Sleep Token has jumped on the bandwagon of Dr. Squatch collaborating public figures with their body paint infused soap bar line that has already sold out online. If you haven't already heard, they put trays in the bottom of the stage during their Download Festival performance, which then collected their sweat and body paint throughout the entirety of the performance, and then they took that and put them into bars of soap. Vessel, the frontman of the band Sleep Token, is pretty known for one thing throughout the fan base, and that's his body paint. Whether it be the progression from his earlier product applications to now the more sturdier and probably product set application of that body paint on his very bare torso during every single one of his performances, there is one thing that we have all seen. We've seen it sweat off. And for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Sleep Token fan base, you can acquire a drop of that body paint put into a bar of soap. You heard me, the band is going to be releasing a line of soap, all with one drop of their sweaty body paint added into each of the bars. This soap bar is blessed with the sweat of a ritual and features the heady scents of cedar, musk, and bergamot. Earlier today, the band put out a pretty cryptic post on social media saying, "You will bathe and you will worship." This coincided the official drop of the soap bar releasing online, and of course, it sold out in seconds. Of course, if you're watching this and you're going, "Oh my god, how did I not hear about this?" It's because I made it up, and it's fake. But it does highlight what I do want to talk about today, which is the rise in parasocial merchandise released by celebrities, bands, and public figures. I mean, we're seeing it everywhere online. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne just did a specialty drop with Liquid Death where you could buy a piece of his garbage, a empty can that he drank out of, for $450. And yes, they did completely and totally sell out online. For the small price of $450, you got a signed can that he crushed and then supposedly drank out of. So you have his fingerprints and possibly even some of his saliva, so you could do whatever you want to with an empty aluminum can that supposedly has Ozzy Osbourne's spit on it. Liquid Death has been no stranger to random-ass product drops that sell out and then get a ton of press afterwards, and this is no exception because I swear for a week straight all I saw on my feed was, "You can buy Ozzy Osbourne's DNA. Liquid Death is selling water infused with Ozzy Osbourne's DNA." No, it was an empty can. It was a can signed by him and then put into like a collector's sealed box that you could keep for $450. But I feel like for anybody to understand the full arc of this situation, you have to have at least 5 years of screen time, so I'll roll it back and give you some more background. But if you totally understand where I'm coming from and what I'm going at, God bless you, and please go touch some grass. This all starts off in 2019 with a content creator we know as Belle Delphine. This British internet personality is known for gamer girl content and cosplay stuff, and then just kind of catering to online gooners. Amassed a gigantic following in 2019 to coincide with her very thirsty comment section. In July of 2019, she released a product called Gamer Girl Bathwater, which was quite literally her bathwater packaged up and then sold for $30. Some people thought it was satire of her making fun of her fan base and just kind of commodifying on the hype that she had gotten, and other people thought it was completely serious and thought it was abhorrent and disgusting, charging her followers $30 a pop for her used bathwater. Most people thought it was a joke until it completely sold out, and then a few days later, after people started getting the packages, started posting videos of them drinking it. Not only drinking it, but recording themselves drinking it, and then posting it online for other people to see them purchasing and then drinking someone's bathwater. So people landed on two sides of the fence on this. They thought it was an incredibly smart business move, and other people just thought it was gross. This was, at least the most popular example to me, an example of a content creator capitalizing off of products sold to replicate some kind of intimacy with their fan base. This weird abstract of intimacy with a content creator that could be purchased, a tangible piece of them that you could purchase, basically taking home part of their performance art at the end of the show, created what we now see as this transactional closeness. Now, to me, this was one of the first, or at least one of the largest, most publicly, spoken about examples of a content creator kind of commodifying this weird abstract of intimacy with their client base, or technically fan base, depending on how you look at it. Now, this transactional closeness exploded in popularity, primarily because of the pandemic and us all being in lockdown throughout 2020, so that had some extraneous circumstances that kind of exacerbated how popular it became. A strange submarket of items typically destined for the garbage that were then sold to their fan bases, so things like socks, used vape cartridges, used chewing gum, and then, of course, more X-rated items. Basically anything that had a trace of the actual creator on it could then be sold to the fan base who would gobble it up. I feel like this really blurred the lines of performance art and giving your fan base a part of, what you created, and then just general parasocial creative marketing, very much capitalizing on loneliness, and then bringing this really taboo submarket from the kink world into the very public sphere through social media marketing. This is where we saw a shift into the more transactional closeness to fan bases. Rather than just watching and enjoying the content, you then wanted to purchase to have something tangible that was a part of that content that you enjoyed. Something that I can easily compare it to is why people so commonly pay to send a message to Twitch streamers, because they want them to engage and react in the moment. And what better way to do that than by having a message to them pop up on screen while they're live streaming. In 2020, we had Gwyneth Paltrow's It Smells Like My candle. And while this wasn't exactly a Gooner release, the infamous candle commercialized bodily intimacy under the guise of empowerment. It cost $75 and was marketed with this spiritual luxury vibe, and it sold out immediately. This paved the way for many other people to do offshoot products themselves, whether it was in parody or if it was completely seriously. This helped push these products out from the niche corners into the public eye because, everyone made fun of it or everybody had something to say about it. Of course, I've always been familiar with fandoms headcanoning their favorite characters to have certain scents, or just the general Tumblr posting saying, this is what I think so-and-so smells like, and then putting them on a list next to an actual on-the-market, perfume or cologne or something. But having actual real people creating candles or scents of themselves was new, and we haven't really seen it before. When we saw it with headcanons, it was generally of, fictional characters, the occasional, and it's a One Direction or a 5 Seconds of Summer or a Black Veil Brides, Tumblr post from 2012, 2015. But then we saw people actually, commodifying themselves and taking what was generally this fandom, theorizing, headcanoning, and going, oh, nope, here's actually what I smell like, you should buy it if you like me. And of course, what got my mind on this entire rabbit hole was Sydney Sweeney and her bathwater. This collab has been all over the internet lately, and if you didn't know, Sydney Sweeney, the famous actress from the TV show Euphoria, did a collaboration with the brand called Dr. Squatch. They do soap and then make funny ads about it. Made a collab soap called Sydney Sweeney's Bathwater Bliss, and it had this woodsy, piney scent that was aptly named Morning Wood. Gross. Of course, this sold out faster than she could say, "Hey boys," in her ad.
Hello, you dirty little boys.
Well, I still maintain the general idea of pop-off queen when it comes to stuff like this, get your bag, whatever. It does make me take a step back because then you see the reaction from the fan base to product releases like this. And that's where it gets weird and scary. Because when you get to the point where you're releasing a product that young men are willing to throw down cash for to get a soap that hypothetically has a drop of an actress that they really like's bathwater in it, they start acting pretty weird. And now that we have the internet and social media, a lot of the time that weirdness is public. It's less of a commentary criticizing the people that create the products and more of just a morbid awareness of the people that are then consuming the products. Because what happened right after everybody started getting Sydney Sweeney's soap bars? Yeah. There is something fun about personalities being willing to play into the novelty of their fame. Make some kind of ironic statement about empowerment while still blurring the lines of consent, objectification, and then the power of brands. All of this to say, we are now living in a society where our celebrities, content creators, and people we idolize are now playing into a commodification where you, for a low price, can purchase an actual physical part of them, and then selling it off to their most obsessive fans. This creates a very slippery slope to something I have said time and time again, and will say again, parasocial fan bases. All of the bubbles in this tub are basically gone, which means it's time for the video to be over. If you'd like to see some of the behind the scenes content of me making this all happen for the video, you should join our Discord server because I do post teaser content before the actual video comes out. And of course, be sure to let me know in the comments what you thought about the video. Do you agree with me? Do you think Sleep Token should release a body paint soap bar? Or are we on the same page here? It's getting kind of weird. I don't need to own something that contains the saliva of Ozzy Osbourne. Anyways, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.